Hissabeth is a bit of a strange one. She's an ultimate-focused, Genesis damage-dealing, mental DPS with some built-in Patrify, and her kit doesn't really play like anyone else's. Overall, her gameplay is extremely simple, as she has a simple and stable rotation that will not change regardless of the situation. With that being said, her skills are so tightly connected that looking at them one by one doesn't really explain how she functions. So to keep things clear, I'm going to be breaking this down into two parts. First, we'll go over how to warm her up and get her going. Then we'll talk about what she actually brings to the table once she's fully online. Let's first talk about how you actually get her into that warmed up state. The goal is pretty simple. At the start of every turn, you want Hissabeth to hold 2 rank 3 Hiss cards and her ultimate. That's when she's fully warmed up and ready to go. Now, to make that happen, there are 2 key things you need to manage: Snake Den stacks and Moxie. Let's start with Snake Den. Hissabeth began combat with 8 stack of it. The stacks need to be converted into Hiss card. She can do this in 2 ways. First, her skill 2 converts 2 to 4 Snake Dens into Hiss. She also passively converts 1 stack into Hiss at the start of every turn. Now, there is a catch on her skill 2 you should know. This skill is an all or nothing. If you use the rank 3 version of it and only have, let's say, 2 stack of Snake Den, then it won't convert anything, and instead, it will generate additional Moxie for her. Always make sure you've got enough stacks before using this skill, and refresh the attack as needed. Now, once you start using his card on enemies, a few things happens. First, they deal mental damage to the target, and then apply a debuff called Serpent Scale, which deals Genesis damage at the end of the turn. After dealing that Genesis damage, 1 stack will return to Hissabeth as Snake's Den. But if the target is marked by her ultimate, all of those stacks go straight back into her hand as Hiss card instead, and the damage per stack jump from 20% to 70%. This is a huge part of her loop and why having her ultimate ready is so important. Now, the second thing you've got to juggle is Moxie, and thankfully, Hissabeth has plenty of ways to generate it. First, she get 1 extra Moxie and also apply a stack of Rigid the first time she attacks an enemy with Serpent Scale on them each turn. Additionally, her Hiss card also generates Moxie, 1 at rank 2 and 2 at rank 3. And while, like I've said before, if you try to use skill 2 but don't have enough Snake Den to convert, it will also generate Moxie for her, it's generally not a tool we will be using in her rotation. With all that in mind, here is how to actually set her up step by step. Turn 1, you get 1 Hiss card automatically from the passive conversion. This turn, you want to play all 3 of her cards, but make sure to use Hiss before her skill 1. That way, skill 1 will trigger her passive and give you 1 extra Moxie. By the end of this turn, you'll have 3 Moxie banked and 3 Hiss cards ready for the next turn. Turn 2, just use both skill 1 and skill 2. This will push her to full Moxie, so her ultimate will be ready in turn 3. Turn 3 is when the engine really starts. You'll have her ultimate, 2 rank 1 Hiss card, and 2 rank 2 ones. Start by casting her ultimate to clear out all your Moxies, then follow up with the Hiss cards, and finally throw out both her skills. Because the ultimate changes the 6 Serpent Scale applied this turn directly back into Hiss, and skill 2 adds 2 more on top of that, you'll end up with 8 Hiss cards in your hands next turn, fused into 2 rank 3 Hiss cards. Those 2 rank 2 Hiss cards will give you 2 Moxies total, her 2 skill will give another 2, and her passive will cover the last one, bringing you right back to the ultimate. From turn 4 onward, the rotation becomes stable. Every turn, she opens with her ultimate, then use 2 rank 3 Hiss cards. Each one gives 2 Moxie, and because they're hitting enemy with Serpent Scale, her passive adds another 1 Moxie. So she ends up with 5 total, just enough to repeat the whole process again in the next turn. This rotation will keep on going unless something interrupts her Moxie. But what does this rotation actually do for you? Well, first off, both her Hiss card and her ultimate doesn't count towards your hand size limit. That means her ultimate will always show up when it's ready, and her Hiss card won't get in the way of drawing or refreshing your deck, which is very nice. On top of that, since Hiss is a versatile card, it doesn't cause any action point. So once you fully ramped up, her entire rotation only takes 1 action point per turn, which gives you tons of flexibility for your other characters. As for the damage, her ultimate hits with a solid AoE mental damage, especially consider she get to use it every turn. Then you've got the 2 free Hiss card, which adds up to around 500% mental damage. There is also the Serpent skill, with 8 stacks, all amplified by her ultimate, that's 610% Genesis damage, which can crit and also scale with ultimate might. Overall, her turn-to-turn output is pretty good for a single action point, but that's just the damage side of her value. As a character, she can only effectively use 1 action point per turn with her rotation, which makes her mostly a sub-DPS, and her kit is meant to be played for its synergy. And there are quite a few synergies she can provide. First and foremost, she can synergize with any character or mechanic that benefit from allies casting ultimate. On top of her ultimate itself, her Hiss cards are also counted as ultimate. This means it can trigger many effects. One of them is Recoletta's passive, which grants her a Moxie whenever ally uses ultimate. Additionally, this also creates a special poison detonation team. The ultimate focus myth has a special note that increases negative status duration by 1 turn, which allows you to do the funny thing that used to be UT2 only in the Reveries in the Reigns. But this is not all. Her Hiss card is not only counted as a ultimate, it's also counted as a ranked incantation. If you have her along with Mercuria, you will get 8 extra cosmic energy each turn from the 2 rank 3 incantation. If you have her with Argus, Argus is pretty much guaranteed to use her rank 3 follow-up each turn, since it only needs 7 total rank used each turn to trigger. That said, even with all these neat little interactions, her actual use cases are still kind of limited. Right now, her strongest teams are either the poison setup in Reveries or work as a support for other ultimate heavy characters. She pairs well with Recoleta, help generating more Moxie for her. She can also work as a second DPS next to Malenia, while enabling character like Mercuria at the same time. There's also potential synergy in the future with the Incantation rank up team, especially with the new Euphoria Juvius, but I am holding off on that one for now, since realistically speaking, Mercuria is just a much better fit for that kind of role at the moment. For Psychube, her signature is the best, but Luxurious Leisure is actually a very close second. She can stack with the damage bonus very quickly with her Hiss card, and the base ultimate might on the Psychube is also quite good for her Genesis damage. For Resonance, attack, damage bonus, and crit are the priority, which you can copy from both pinned comments or in the description if you're on the mobile app. As for her portrait, I really don't recommend going out of your way to chase them right now. The reason is simple, there just isn't a meta team where Hissabeth is the main DPS, carrying the bulk of the damage. And while the portrait multiplier looks big on paper, they do not affect her rotation and utility much, thereby are just not worth the investment, unless her roles shift in the future patch. And that wraps up everything to know about Hissabeth. To be honest, she feels like a bit of an experimental unit. She's got some cool uses in gimmick fights, but from a broader meta perspective, she hasn't quite found her place yet. But what about you guys? Did you pull for her? Do you think she'll eventually slot into a proper team? Let me know what you think in the comment down below. And as always, this has been SteamBunX. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.